Hello, welcome. I'm back from holiday and I can have another day on this. So hopefully very exciting day today because we're going to make the back mudguard fit. So we'll get on with that and let's hope that goes really well. And here we go. Before we get into it this week, we've had quite a few deliveries. So I've got a full service kit from Hitchcock's. I've got oil filter, air filter, spark plug and O-ring seals, and a rocker cover seal so I can check the valve clearances. So it's good. Full service kit. And exhaust gaskets from when we refit the exhaust header. I got two in case I mess one up. And there's a couple of shorter seat bolts because we don't need such a long seat bolt underneath. And because of the way the Meteor seat was mounted, there's a bolt missing from where the Classic 350 seat bracket has to fit. If you've seen a lot of the previous episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about with that bracket. And amazingly, Hitchcock's, they sell the proper bolts just off the shelf. Front and rear brake pads. So they're going to work a lot better than the ones that are just worn out metal. Fork gaiters. Thanks for the suggestion for those. They're going to be awesome. Let's open them up. Ooh, squidgy. So, they smell rubbery. So, I know a lot of people fit these by slitting them, putting them around the fork and super gluing them back together. And I know that works well, but because I've got the bike in such bits, there's no need to do that. We can just slide the fork legs out and pop these on. So it's going to be good. These are from Hitchcock's in the UK, by the way. God. They're so rubbery and sticky. Then, what else we get? New rear sprocket. That's steel. I think, yeah, 42 teeth, which is standard. Funny enough, when I opened it in the house, I thought that was massive. I thought it was completely the wrong size, but now I've brought it to the bike. It's right. It's perfectly right. So it just looks bigger when it's not on the bike. So a nice steel sprocket. Front sprocket. And the best bit, if you remember that manky chain, we've now got a DID X-ring gold chain. I mean, it's obviously not gold, but anything coloured gold must be better, right? Whoa, look at this lovely peg. Oh, there's a split link for fitting it, just like a bicycle. Oh, look at that. Check it out. I don't think I've ever seen a motorbike chain so lovely. Nice. And they say the X-ring chains have got lower friction compared to the O-rings. I can believe it because super flexible. Usually an O-ring chain, even when they're new, are quite stiff. That's quite flexible. Almost seems a waste to use that. Put it in its little bag. So there we are, lots of nice things. As I was saying in one of the earlier videos, all the stuff I bought, I think I may as well have just bought a brand new bike. But never mind, because it's fun to do all these things. Right. So, Meteor Mudguard. The plan is to use the original Mudguard, but moved around quite a lot and remounted like this, which you'll have seen in previous videos, just in case you just joined. So there are a few things you won't need anymore, mostly the front, because there's the plastic. Let's show you. No, can't, there it is. That's the battery box. That lives in the side of the bike. But the rear part forms the rear of the Mudguard, essentially. And as originally fitted, that's how it fits in the bike. So that's that way around. It doesn't bolt to it, but it rests in that lip. And that's the standard setup. But obviously we're going to have this round here, so this needs to be cut across here so it fits into there. And also this bracket is redundant. So first of all, we're going to get rid of this and fit this to the bike. Do a bit of magic and work out where to cut this off. So this bracket looks like we've got 4 spot welds that hold it in, small weld at the back, and a slightly longer weld at the front, and a rubber grommet. We'll just take that out for now. I could probably live with it, and it would kind of be hidden under the seat, but I would like it to be gone, I think. Yes, right, let's get some mega tools. Right, I've got this strapped down so it doesn't move too much, and we're going to need a grinder, but I think this is going to be more like it. Right, volume warning. You see from there? Pretty much. I have to be careful or we're going to be cut through that. Okay. That's quite a blunt instrument. I might go to the smaller grinder actually. Okay, so that's getting rid of quite a lot of it there. That back one's almost cut through. A little bit more in that front one. Okay, there's 4 spot welds. Ow! There's 4 spot welds just there, which are going to have to go. Okay, you might remember this drill from such episodes as Fuel Tank Disaster. Right, that's either very hard or that's quite a blunt drill. No, drill feels alright. Let's drill all 4 out a bit and then we'll have a look. Let's try a different drill because that feels really blunt. Okay. Okay, let's give it a little tap because you never know. Right, let's get a lever. Oh, it's coming off. Okay, the spot weld's putting up a bit of resistance. I was quite shallow with them, so I expected that. Get that cage nut off. Oh, came off the pot. You can see that weld is just tearing open now. Okay, so these spot welds are going to need some more, which I kind of expected. Well, that spot welds, they're starting to come off, look. Not bad. Okay, so coming pretty well. Right, that one's free. That one's free. Pretty good. Pretty good. So that one's off. That one's off. Had a bit of weld stick in there. Yeah. Those back down. There we go. Aha! So there we go. I see a bit of corrosion building up under there. So if you've got a Meteor and you fancy it having a long life, might be worth some underseal under that bracket. That's right under your pillion pad. That's why that's flat on top. The pillion pad goes there. Okay, we've got damage to the top, but I'm not worried about that because obviously I'll be putting some filler on this afterwards. And this part will be under the seat anyway. But that bracket, getting rid of that bracket is it's totally redundant, and you don't need to be able to see these. Right, that weld is just sticking up. I'm just going to rub that off with the bigger grinder. Just in case you're wondering, all the petrol is safely stored away. Okay, a little bit at the front there. There we go, bracket gone. Right, well, that went well. Little cut through there, but I'm not worried about that. So that'll be filled in a bit. While we're here though, just going to get rid of this strengthener. We'll do that the same way. Actually, looking closer at this and putting my finger up underneath, made this little hole. There was actually quite a bit of corrosion there, and this bike was only about 1.5 years old. I have no doubt at all that another couple of years and that would have been quite nasty rust in the rear of the mudguard there. So if you've got a Meteor in the UK or anywhere it rusts, then getting under that pillion bracket with some underseal or some rust preventer, because there was no paint there really. Not at all, because it had been welded on and then painted, but obviously it doesn't get the paint doesn't get underneath. So for longevity, that's something to think about. This is a little strengthener plate for where the rear light mounts, but we won't be doing that. I'm not sure what I'm going to cover it with, maybe a badge, but either way, I don't want this extra plate on top. That can only be something else to work around. So we've got 5 little spot welds. So let's drill those out. Alright, we've been quite conservative there, but we'll give it a little tap anyway, just see what happens. Okay. Let's clean it up. I think that needs more, but more is easy. Yeah, let's do a bit more. Obviously, I have to be a lot more careful because I don't want to just ruin this profile by wanging on it. Again, there's no paint under this doubler, obviously, so that would have been another corrosion hotspot. Whoa! Check it out. It's off. So you can see how, without that paint, rust was going to develop under there quite quickly. But having said that, it hasn't. So, although is there a rubber seal goes on here when the light's on? Yeah, there is, isn't there? That's how it's helping a bit. I can join the pile of damaged parts. I'm just feeling that, where that's been riveted on. Perhaps it's the edge of the paint. Either way, it's swelled up slightly. Like it's still domed towards us. It's just something to think about when I'm painting later. So I might have to, doesn't have to be done now. Might just have to push that in a bit before filling over the top. Yeah. That's better. When it comes close to the painting, you sand that off, that'll be much more obvious. And we can deal with that. It's not something we have to worry about now anyway. Just like using the hammer. Let's grind those little welds off though, because we're here. And we've got Mr. Grinder. Yeah, that's as much as we need to do for now. So, bye-bye grinder. Oh. There we go. Bracket gone. Strengthener gone. That's very burned through. Although, as you can see, like I said, that's corrosion, look. See the dirt in it. And it started to rust already. I was obviously rusting underneath the paint there. That was welded. So if you've got a Meteor, maybe pop some paint up underneath. And you can see we've already got corrosion building in the same way, where these tail supports have been welded on. There's obviously no paint underneath, so rust is happening under these straps. Just something to think about when it comes to winter maintenance time. That must have been rubbing on something. Pillion seat, I expect. Okay. Now, I think we'll take some measurements and make some decisions. Okay, so I've just slotted that back in. And you can see that part we ground off. That bracket. Nice and gone now, nice and clean. And we'll be patching that somehow. Probably going to put something on the back. Standard sort of automotive filler. But I might stick a badge of some sort there anyway. Because I have a feeling, just the way that metal's bulged up, it's never going to look quite smooth. And the badge is nice anyway. Or we might have a sports stripe, or I don't know. But that's pretty much where I want it. It's a bit hard to tell now because I want the side panel on. But to help out, what I'm going to do is make a cardboard template. Put the battery box rear back in. Make the cardboard fit the plastic, and then we'll copy that over to the steel and hope we haven't wrecked it. But it hasn't cost anything, so let's cut. Okay, so here's the battery box rear, goes around this way. We'll just have to pop this in kind of temporarily. So out with the wiring. So much wiring. Oh, I got a feeling that had to go in before the back wheel. Ha ha ha. Let's give it a go though. That's okay, no damage. It's almost there, but that has to be in front. How did I do that? Haha, that was it. So that bolt's in place here, here, up there. And in there. So we've got 4 mounting spots. Now they're going to be those kind of shanked bolts where they have a part on the bolt that doesn't have a thread, so it doesn't squash the plastic. Which is going to be so much bolts. I could have labelled all these, but that would have been too easy, wouldn't it? Funny enough, when I was dismantling it, I noticed that not all were, so that doesn't surprise me that one is slightly different. That goes off a bit. And that one should be one, but isn't. So that's not the right bolt. It's probably coming out again anyway, so I'm not too worried. There we go. So now you can see how that plastic part forms the back side of the mudguard, basically. Right, so cardboard template. Okay, so we've got some cardboard and a mudguard. Obviously this side is easy to draw around, but it gets a bit harder when I can't see the top. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it gives a reasonable representation of what's going on. Ah, moved. Not bad, not bad. Sorry, you can't really see that, can you? So basically, that's the profile. Now this here is the point where the bracket was, where it goes flat. So I know that that point has to be past the seat, or just under the seat. And that goes flat then. This side isn't so important because I know that that's not going to be there. Ah, scimitar. Right, to the bike mobile. So it seems a lot smaller, probably because it's not a real mudguard, but I know that it is the right shape. So obviously that point there, where it goes flat, has to be under there. Obviously it's very easy to cut away, but I don't want to take too much and end up sticking it back, but it's not the end of the world. If I take away to there at least, I know there's no chance that that will remain. It's very easy to make a cut. I mean, oh, I can just do it again, can't I? It's only a bit of cardboard. Right, so go from there. Sorry if you can't see. So that's sat inside that plastic recess now, so any water on that mudguard, as long as it's past this recess, will run down off the back of the bike. Funny enough, this isn't sort of perfectly shaped moulding, because now it's not going to be arched because of this flat top. It's not going to fit perfectly in any way, so I don't have to be that critical. As long as it's past this lip, so water goes down, it's not super critical. And I think I wanted that to be a bit further. And I think we had about ½ an inch at the top. But like I said, it's quite, how that is going to move around here is quite flexible. We can always grind more off anyway. Now, when it comes to fixing, my hope is there are holes through the frame in this location where a grab handle usually fixes, and you've got holes both sides. And it's my hope that once it's in, I'll have a bolt, a spacer, and the same both sides, and that'll be the main strength of fixing. And then we'll have to add another fixing, so it's got at least 3 points, possibly even down the back. So maybe I might leave on top of the mudguard, and we cut it a tail of steel, and we can put that down there, maybe fix it into this item, or at least give some options for different fixings. Because under the seat we've got some bolt holes, but obviously the mudguard isn't going to reach that far. But if these take sort of the main weight, and then that tail can do the rest. You know, I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm ready for a first cut of this metal. Let's do what we just talked about. Cut it, leave a tail on the top. Otherwise I'll be on eBay for another mudguard. Righty-ho. There's our template. That was a good template as well. Pretty much. Going up there. And up there. And hopefully across the top they line up. Pretty good. Although, as I was saying, I want to leave a tail of metal down the back here to provide for fixings. Or at least the chance of fixings. I'll pop a radius in there as well. Oh, this pencil's so blunt. I said that fix there, that fix there. Why not follow this profile? Seems rather well. I forgot it's just a pencil. Do. Right, which one shall I use? I did bring another grinder today, a medium one. And let's try the little one though. Okay, volume warning. Pretty good actually. I think my battery's a bit low though, so might have to switch to the other grinder anyway. Okay, at the side. Should I radius that? Yes. No. No. Because that... Let's think about it. Hey, one more long cut. Okay, there's the main cuts made. I'm going to find my jigsaw and just pop these corners out. Okay, jigsaw with a metal blade. Don't pull it out too soon, or it'll smack you in the teeth. Like that. Just like that. Gotcha. To the sides. I don't know. I just don't know if I actually need a radius here. Let's have a look again. Yes. Yeah, let's do a small radius on there. What am I doing? Which way? This way. I think I almost put that on the wrong way then. To be honest, it's very subtle. It's just to save catching your hand on a sharp corner, really. There's no way I can actually make that corner, but it doesn't have to be. I can file it to how I want it later. Okay, where are we at? Around the top. Otherwise, we cut in. Ooh. There we go. We even kept the Royal Enfield logo, look. How cool is that? Alright, let's get a file. my glove back on. I just want to make it safe to handle at the moment. There we go. Almost like it was meant to be. Now, there is this curved profile and the flat bit, but because this was a flat part of the mudguard, I'm thinking that's going to just go down there. Put a bit of a bend in it, just to help it out a bit. Like that. So that goes down there. Not too shabby. I don't know if you can see, but the mudguard is slotted down inside that plastic receiver. And the flat part is lining up with the flat cutout. Obviously it doesn't fit perfectly into the plastic because by the time it got to the plastic, it was supposed to, the mudguard would have been round again. Like I say, as long as it's past it, so that water runs down the bike rather than sprays past in some like this. As long as that's past there, which it is. And that metal tail is coming down to about there. So I can perhaps use that as a fixing into this plastic and fix through these side bolts. Right, where's my bit of foam? Can we fake that? And put a bit more of a bend in this. So it needs more foam because I can't hold it where I want it. That's okay for a minute, because there's something else I want to consider, and I'm going to show you that now. while I was looking at YouTube, I was looking at a great channel called Coastrider Scotland, and he's done some great things with his Classic 350 and some great videos. So check that out. I'll put a link down below. And I saw one of his videos, and he'd fitted a rack. Obviously, from the tail end, my bike is a Classic 350 now because it's a Classic 350 seat. And it's a Classic 350 frame because they share the same frame. And I saw this rack, which was designed for a Classic 350. And you know, they're not expensive, from India. And it looked really good. So I thought I'd just try it. Just get it and have a look and try. So I'm not saying it will be on the bike, but if I had the option to have it, it was just another thing, really. So let's have a look at this, because I don't want to place the Mudguard in a way that won't allow me to have this on. So let's take this for a look. The rack fits. It uses the original bolt that I've been pulling in and out about 50 times and hooks under the rear shock bolts. So let's pop the seat off and have a look at that. So ironically, after I bought those short bolts I just talked about, I might need the long one. Aha. All right, you can see what I mean by the Mudguard fitting now. There's the round profile, but because this is flattened on the top, it lines up with that flat surface there, which that tail is going down. But I want this to be a bit higher, but we'll look at that in a minute, because that was why we were fitting the rack, wasn't it? So that's going to fit under there. Oh, and there's a space there because I bet that's where the seat goes, which I put too far away. Ugh. Right, sit. Right, can I do this all without a disaster happening? Possibly. Okay, what did I do with the bolt? What did you do with the bolt, Glyn? Where did you put the bolt? It's in my pocket. The bolt goes in. This is looking all right. I like this. Oh, except now there's about 3 things to line up. Whoa. Look at that. Wow, that's different. Looks like a right zombie squasher. What do you think? Wow. That's really changed it. So I know I've been talking about this fluid line before, but the angle of the rack just kicking up. I like that. I'm glad I waited for that. And there's quite a bit of room above the Mudguard, so the Mudguard position isn't too critical. We can probably go with whatever we want, and that rack can come and go as we please. That's really good. I'm glad I ordered that. I think it was £45 delivered from India. The painting isn't the best, but that's okay, we can paint that. That's really cool. That's really cool. So still bobbery, but it's still that. I quite like the taper as well. It'd be easy for it to be square, wouldn't it? And look like a bit boring. That taper on the bike. Also, this was I got this off eBay for £9. It's just stuck on with suckers. Again, it adds a bit of that sort of utility nature to it. Wow, that really fleshes it out. That's really changed it for me. And that rack is so easy to take on and off as well. So as long as I make decisions that that rack isn't part of holding the mudguard on or the lighting, then I can take that on and off as I wish. But I like that. I think I've got that mudguard where I want it, or close enough anyway, because it'll still be adjustable. And I popped some foam under it to hold it up. So I'm just going to pop these side clips out, and then we're going to try and mark the mudguard and get some rear bolts in, and then we can fiddle with the angle and sort some kind of front mounting. So what I'm hoping is these plastic bobbins are going to pull out. Ah, they're much deeper than I thought. Look at that. So we've actually got quite a big space there and a hole. Is that threaded? No, sleeved hole. So we can get a bolt in, and then we can replace these plastic plugs. Invisible fixing. Thank you, Royal Enfield. One and two. Right, I need to get something to mark that. Back in a sec. Okay, so pencil and through. Is that straightish? Someone's out on bikes today. I'll mark the other side, but to be honest, what I was going to do was copy it over to make sure it ends up level. Okay. Tow it back. Maybe no rim mudguard. All that, and I actually had a tape here. So right side is about 85mm from that corner and 70 straight up. And this side is about 85mm, but it is 70 straight up. So that's nice and level. I can see that corner is forward a bit. So I'm going to say that I'm happy with that. Let's drill them. Now they look like 8mm holes in the frame. So I'll probably go with 8mm holes in here as well. This is about 4mm. So. Better go and try that now. So M8 bolt. Is that M8? Yes. 8mm. Nope, my fingers weren't there. Ooh, just missed those cable retainers. That's lucky. I don't know if I'll be needing them. I can write dog zero this, aren't I? Right, back to the bike. I'm going to grab a random M8 bolt and stick that in there. So it needs to be 10, 20, at least 20mm longer than that. M8, at least 20mm longer than that. Okay, macho bolts. Nope. Ooh. M8, stainless, cap head. $80mm. It's certainly safe to keep these old parts. Pretty good. Tell you what, stick a pile of washers and nuts. I'm sure they won't be the final nuts, but nuts, 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 either way. take this off? Take that away for a minute. Just pop the seat belt back in. So there we are, there's the two bolts coming in from the side. And I know what you're thinking. When I tighten up, that's going to be a complete disaster because it's going to bend all of the frame, which is absolutely right. So I'm going to put some sleeves on these bolts and see what that's like. Now, funnily enough, when I was rooting around in the for my tools, I've got some rod here, but I'm thinking that might be a bit small. Well, it fits. I'm thinking that would be a lot better with some much wider tube, perhaps around 12mm, getting off 1/2 inch, maybe in plastic, because it would lock against the mudguard and the frame better. Because this spindly stuff, I've got a feeling it's just going to flex around. But as a proof of concept, let's whack off 2 of these at 32mm and just tighten it up so that we can see it all works. And then perhaps I will get on Amazon and order a bit of polythene black spacer to make a couple of nice ones out of. Right. Bolt out. Sleeve on. That's a nice sound. There we go. So M8 times 80mm bolt, metal crush sleeves. I don't know if you can see up there. There's going to be 2 bolts sticking out. They're sticking out by about 15 mil, so they might be a little long. Let's stick a couple of bolts and washers. Nuts and washers, rather. I'll just stick some plain ones on for now, because I don't want to keep locking them up. Good. I don't want these to be too long, because I don't want them to hit the tyre, obviously, because that would be bad, wouldn't it? Okay, there's one. That's pretty good. Obviously it's tilting up and down because the front isn't locked. Try and get you in close. See? There's those little sleeves. Like I said, I'd like to make these better with some polythene tubes. And cut a slight angle on the end as well, and then they'll seat much better against these. But for now, we just need to set the angle. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. That was a pretty good day. It's time for me to go home for my tea, so I think that's quite enough for today. But there it is. After thinking about it for so long, it was relatively quick and trouble-free to get the back mudguard on. So there's those existing frame holes that I've got the rubber plugs for. And there's those bolts with the metal sleeves on. I'll have a look for some polypropylene or something, some plastic, black plastic, thicker things tonight, because it'll work much stronger with a thicker tube. Not that it's not at all weak at the moment. And if you'll have a look what's going on down the back, that thing you can see with the white line down it, that's the metal of the mudguard, and that's the tail we made. So that is just resting against that plastic liner that would usually form the mudguard. Now at the moment I can adjust this up and down. When I've got the back wheel out, what I'll probably do is there's some other metal bolt holes behind that plastic, is I'll put a couple of bolts in, and that will fix this tilt. So like I say, it's very strong, but fixing that tail through to the bike will set the angle, and it's pretty much, I think it's where I want it. So that's worked out really well today. There we go. That's kind of the character that we're looking at. So there's more to come with handlebars and that exhaust. Can't wait to do that. We might revisit the front mudguard again. There's a few things I'd like to try with that. And the lighting, rear lighting. That's a good day. The curve of the mudguard to the wheel has worked out really well. So I need to think what I'm going to do to there, whether I'm just going to fill it and paint, whether I might stick a badge on. I might get a badge anyway. Then there's the rack, which worked out really well. So I'll stop this for a sec. So I've got two hands, and we'll pop that back on too. There she is with that rack on. I think that looks really good. Looks really like it wants to go out for the day and have fun. That's nice. It's nice. I like sort of so many curves, and then sort of it's the contrast of that sort of deck flying off the back. And it doesn't go too far back. It's quite roughy tufty. So that mudguard is pretty strong. I put the front fixings in. That'll be even stronger. This has worked out really well. We've got to work out what we can do with the number plate then. So thanks very much for joining me today. I love to hear all your comments and tips. I certainly come up with a lot of good ideas that I haven't thought of. So it's good to nick all those. Thanks very much for that. So please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. It's a pleasure to prepare them every week for you. And if you weren't watching it, I probably wouldn't get it done. So it's all down to you. So I'm gonna go for my tea. I hope you have a great weekend or whatever you're doing. And I'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Well, I'm back from holiday, so I can get on with this. You'll be pleased to hear. You're not pleased.